This is Samir Parmar with the Machine Vision Group at SICK Incorporated. Now that you have already seen the part 1 of the video and managed to provide all the electrical connections to your inspector unit, mounted it properly, as well as downloaded the SOPAS software to be able to communicate with the unit, we can actually go ahead and now pop up the SOPAS software from this directory and start talking to the inspector unit. As soon as you pop up the software, the wizard starts up and it will walk you through the process of connecting to the inspector unit and communicating with it. In my case right now, I have a unit connected directly, so I'm going to say connect to a new device and click OK. I want to connect to the device via the Ethernet connection because that is how my device is connected to my PC. I'm going to click next. My device is connected directly to my computer and not via a network, so I will select that and click on next. The SOPAS will scan for devices and come back with results as to how many devices it found. In our case over here, it returns one device as a result, so we click on next and we can see that it has detected the inspector I-20 over here. The only issue is that there is a red plug next to it indicating that some configurations needs to be done in order for us to be able to communicate with it, and that is the IP address compatibility between the inspector and the computer. We can simply click over here at change IP configuration, and if we were connected via a network, we only would require to click on this portion over here and use the DHCP, whereby the network would allocate an IP address automatically to the inspector unit as it would to the computer on the network. In other case over here, we would uncheck this and we would uncheck this because we are connected directly to the computer, and we would click on show new proposal, whereby the inspector would automatically assign an IP address automatically that would be compatible with the host computer, and then we would click on next. So the SOPAS is now going through the checks to verify that we are connected properly. Meanwhile, I want to verify over here that in order to connect the device to the computer, there are two approaches. One is directly, whereby you would connect the inspector using an Ethernet cable to the PC. The other option is incorporating a switch in between the two of them. Both of these approaches, however, are considered to be direct connection, and that is what I am using right now. The other approach is the network, whereby you would connect the inspector to the network, and the network would be assigning an IP address to the inspector automatically as it would to all the other computers on the network. Let's go back to the screen and see where we stand right now. So 3 checks done so far. Once this last check is done, I will click next over here, and then now the red plug has been converted to a green plug, and we are ready to talk to the inspector. So we can click on next, and now the SOPAS would add this inspector to our project, and the finish would be highlighted over here, upon clicking which I am ready in the programming view and I can start working with the inspector and all my tools. Let's say you don't really have an inspector physically to work with. No problem. You can actually load some pre-captured images using the same approach. So now what we would actually be using over here is a simulated device. So we would say that we want to connect to a new device, click OK, and when it comes to the connection, select simulated device, click next. We will select the version we want to pick, which is I-20 or the I-10, and click on next. And SOPAS would pre-configure all these settings for us and let us enter into the programming view, assuming that we are actually connected to a device, and we are now ready to do all the configurations as we would be able to do when we were physically connected to a device. The difference is now we would actually need to select a set of images from anywhere on the desktop or on the computer and load them up so that we can actually do some work with it.